video that you guys can hear me. I really do, because lately what I've been noticing is that my videos have been distorted, and I know the reason why. I already know the reason why. And the reason why is because we have what I call DMs, Dungeon Masters, where they kind of control your volume and all this other stuff. I mean, it's so petty. But the reason why I want to, this is something that I really want to talk about. This is the reason why I have been taking a step back from social media platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and other platforms, is because I've noticed that people have become so Photoshop or so unreal that they're not living. They're living through a tube. They're living for the views. And it's a distraction. It really is. It's taking away the attention from God, and you're being controlled by every morning checking to see which trolling. You know, you're trolling, and you're checking to see what's trending, you know? And so I realized, like, you know, I'll be 40 next year. I'll be 39 this year. And I'm like, dang, you know, time is really just flying. Now I understand the 80-year-olds, like, dang, they were just 20. So I think a lot of people now are waking up and they're realizing, like, you know, people talk about, I'm living my best life. Like, you're really not living if all you're doing is watching a tube. And now the big thing is the creators of this big machine, they want to control the content that you hear, and they want to control the content that you see. That those who work, I guess they worked hard to gain a huge audience, has been snuffed out, took out, and they don't want, how can I say, they can cut you off any given time. So in order to destroy something like this, you got to say, I don't want it anymore. I don't want it. It's stupid. I mean, it's just like MySpace. Remember when MySpace was like the big thing popping? And then everybody just left their MySpaces and walked away to Facebook. And a lot of people are realizing, like, this is just like, I don't need to see this. I realized, like, when I was scrolling through Facebook, my emotions would go up and down from happy to sad to frightened because of the crap people post on here. And some of the things were so disgusting. Like, I'm thinking, like, I really befriended you and you have a mind like this, delete. And I realized, like, certain people are not supposed to go with you in your future. So why are you befriending everybody? People that you went to school with, or people that you used to date, but now they got girlfriends, or, you know what I mean? So why are you allowing that to go into your future? And some people want to see what you're doing. I feel like when you get older, and I'm just going to use this as an example. Somebody that has dementia, and things are being replayed in their mind, and they don't know why. You got to be very careful, because you may start having memories of other people's lives that had nothing to do with your life because you were so in tune to their life. It's the same as a video game. Now, when I was with my husband, he used to play this game called Neverwinter Nights. Oh, was it called Neverwinter Nights? Yeah, Neverwinter Nights. It was like a virtual world or some type of fantasy world, but the thing was freaking huge. I mean, I even played with him, and I remember telling him, you don't die in this game, do you? And I think I told y'all this story. And he was like, no. And I remember playing, I was some avatar, and y'all got mauled by a freaking tiger in the game. And I ended up dying in the game, and he had to take, like, I'm watching him have to take my so-called player's body. First of all, when I died in the game, it looked like I was in hell or something. But on the other side, it's like he had to take my body to be revived. I'm like, what type of crap is that? Now imagine if you're playing this game. Oh, sorry, I have no idea how long I've been cut off. So anyway, I don't know. I have no idea how long I've been cut off. So anyway, the Bible warns about fantasy with our minds. And so, like I was saying, if you hit like 85 years old, that's a 90 or whatever. And I'm not saying all people is going to have dementia, but if you start losing your mind and you can't remember all of a sudden you have the memories of when you were 5, you're in the game and you don't even realize you're having these memories of which you played out. Because you got to understand that the brain doesn't know what's reality or not reality. It reacts. Your body is reacting like you're actually in reality, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to give you a prime example. Some people, and I had to cut down my Facebook friends. I had to literally cut them completely down. Some of the folks, I just don't know. I don't know. And your views, I'm just not with it. And I don't feel like hearing all of this hate stuff. So I'm just like, delete. And I had to delete my own family members. So can't nobody get upset because I deleted my own sister. I deleted my own nieces. I told y'all, and I had to say this to my nieces, like, I'm your aunt. So if I have my great uncle on there, which is my father's uncle, I expect y'all to behave yourselves. And if y'all shaking tail feathers and showing off, I'm deleting you. Because I don't need to see that. If you can't have self-respect when you're on these platforms and know that your people are looking at you and the world is looking at you, then I don't want to see it. And a lot of people got a little upset about it, but I'm like, I don't care. And my sister was like, well, Mona, you can kind of fix what you want to see. No, delete. I'm not going through all of that. Delete. So anyway, I say this because what I've been noticing lately, especially with my videos, and I have had, well, let me get to the point. I've been noticing lately with my videos, they've been distorted, or you can't really hear the sound, and that's purposely done. I was given a dream. The Lord had showed me the real views that I received versus the views that what they have been trying to, for how can I say, it's been cut on YouTube and that's why I really can't stand YouTube. That's why it's not going to hurt me if they pull the plug, because honestly, I don't make any money from it. I don't plan to make money from it. The only thing I plan to do is, spread the gospel. So there's nothing for me to gain from it. And so it was something, because I was really thinking, and I wanted you guys to know where I'm coming from when I say DM. And when I mean DM's like a dungeon master. In that particular game, when I was with my husband, there were these folks that was called the dungeon masters. I mean, they can control the world by seeing these people play these characters like they're gods. And I remember at that time when I was with my husband, he was so good. He was literally on the verge of becoming a DM, and he probably did. He probably did become one. And so I realized, going into the real world, the reality, I realized that YouTube has a bunch of DMs. And some people call them YouTube agents or whatever like that, but this stuff is real. This stuff is so real. Like, not only are you being watched on your Facebook, your Twitter, but you're being watched on what you look at on YouTube, when you comment on YouTube, and the content you put out on YouTube. So I remember I said something in a video, this had to be a couple of years back, maybe 2 years back, and somebody said, all right, Ramona. I'm like, oh, snap, that's not a regular viewer. This is somebody who's been watching me. The way he called my government, all right, Ramona, like, calm it down. I'm like, oh, y'all been looking at the girl. So you have to understand that you've been socially profiled. I know I've been socially profiled as a Christian woman who speaks her mind, who's definitely for the Constitution. I'm against anything that comes against God's word. I hate the killing of babies. And yeah, that's me, and I'm not backing down on that. So of course, they put me on the list, and whoever else is down for that, they put you on that. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up, especially with this, the social media and everybody pretty much being tracked and not living their life, is that a lot of the issues that you're dealing with in your marriage and your relationship with your family is the simple fact is that you're not putting down your phone and you're not spending that quality time with your husband, your wife, your children, your mother, your father, just like the life that we used to live before these gadgets was put in our face to distract us. Because now your phone could tell you spent 99% time on your cell phone. You have 14% left. Like they're taking all of this data from you. And then now I can sit up here and talk about, I need to get my nails done. I need to get my nails done. All of a sudden my phone will pop up about, Gigi's nail shop up the street, or what do you think about these press-on nails, or try out this new gel nail form. All of these things is start because it's profiling me. Now, I was telling my cousin, I literally was saying I needed to delete some of my messages. I went on my cell phone, like all my daggone messages is gone. I'm like, I didn't delete that. And I didn't ask for all of that to be deleted. But this is the new technology. And now everyone talks about these algorithms. I didn't ask for no algorithm. I didn't ask for you to be like, this is the next song she's going to like. So you're studying me. And it is a system. And so I say the organic, like we need to go back to this organic lifestyle, because I'm going to use fruit and vegetables as an example. Now, remember back in the day and I was talking to my cousin, and she said when she was when she was in North Carolina, it wasn't nothing when every neighbor had their own vegetable garden. It wasn't nothing to go out there and get you some tomatoes. I remember my grandmother had tomatoes that were so juicy when you bite into them, they was just delicious. But you can get that, I remember going to peach orchards when I was younger. My grandmother would take us there, and it was so many peach trees with peaches, and we could get all the peaches and put them in a huge barrel, pay a couple of dollars for it, like maybe $3, and you walk away with this huge big thing full of peaches. They were organic. I remember what real food used to taste like, organic. But what's so crazy? And I think it's a huge crime, is that when these big corporations came in, they started putting patent on a seed that God created. You cannot reseed. Like if your tree grew and all of us, you had extra seeds, you could take those seeds and, replant them to grow more. Now they're like, no, we're banning you. You can't do that. You have to buy seeds from us. You're like, what? Y'all didn't even create this. Yeah, but nah, that's the law. Trifling, nasty, and those folks going to hell. So I'm letting the CEOs of those businesses and stuff like that think they're gonna get away with it. No, you got your day too in judgment. So what they have done is they have altered certain things where they're promoting us to put more poison in our body that's not organic. The fish that was basically grown versus wild caught. You know what I mean? Stuff that was added, they added hormones and all types of stuff to it, and people wonder why they're dealing with these big issues. So there's this huge movement of vegetarians like myself. I don't eat meat anymore. I mean, I do fish and crabs and stuff like that. And some people are like, you're not supposed to eat crabs. The Bible says that. I'm like, the Bible says not what you put in your mouth, but what you speak, it comes from your heart. So I know the scripture. But anyway, so I don't eat meat or any of that. I haven't eaten any of that in a very long time. But what I have noticed, and I'm just going to be very honest, is that stores that are very organic, that sells organic apples or organic, whatever you want to call it, that has no GMOs in it or anything like that, those foods are expensive now. Now, back in the day, it was nothing to buy an apple. What, 25 cents? You're good for an apple, you know? Probably lesser than that. Like, apples are nothing. I mean, they grow from trees. But it was when the selfish folks decided, no, we can up the price on the organic stuff, and we can sell the pesticides, the GMOs, we can sell that at the cheap rate. So that means that in these areas where they're not wealthy, they are given the bottom. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're not getting the organic stuff anymore. They're getting the junk. And you know what we put in our bodies is going to dictate like longevity, how long you're going to live. And I remember, I don't know where I saw it, but I think it was somewhere in Baltimore where they was like the lifespan of those folks was like 50. And I'm like, what? But they look at their eating lifestyle. So, you know, when you look back at it, this is perfectly done. But there's a huge movement of folks who are really health conscious of what they put in their body. And I say this because now you're not going from what they're telling you to take and eat. You're going back to the organic way of living. And it's the same thing that it's the same way that now you decided to eat healthy, work out, you know, drink water, none of that soda mess. It's the same way with your lifestyle. You decide to unplug and say, I'm putting my phone down. I'm going out and I'm going to breathe this fresh air. I'm going to plant me a tree. I'm going to do something with my family and have quality time. I think that was the most wonderful thing growing up is when you had quality time. You had quality time with your mother, your father, your grandmother was showing you how to do stuff with her hands. You weren't looking at a video. And some of y'all don't even know how to privatize your life. Like, you don't even know how to turn it off. I was telling my cousin, not too long ago, I saw a couple that posted a photo of them on Facebook with they're both in a jacuzzi with some bubbles, and I think this is a married couple. And I'm like, I didn't need to see that. That's your memory. That's something special that y'all needed to keep. And now that's a part of my memory because I saw inside of your private life. And I'm like, you know what? I'm getting tired of this. Delete. And I'm thinking like my accounts, I'm just going to have to. And that's honestly the reason why I kind of was just like, I'm calling back from YouTube as well. Because these jokers really think that you want to control what I put out to make sure that it doesn't go out. But see, what I realized this morning, and this is just using as an example, because you know Jesus had gave the parable about the sower and the seed, the farmer and the seed when he was sowing the seed and putting the seed down. I thought about a lot of folks that have been given that, especially they're false, but they have been given all of these views. Who do they work for? You know, because anyone if someone's a DM, they can make sure you get a lot of views or you don't get a lot of views. They can make sure to pull the plug on you, ban you, or distort your videos, so it's not going to really go anywhere. But those who work for the system and you work for the devil and you in it and you signed over to it, they'll go right ahead within a snap of a finger, just put a number out there. It don't even have to be real. So one thing I really realized about the DMs and also these agents is that they can also create rumors. And I know you said, well, Mona, what do you mean? There was a group that had came back, and I think I did a couple of rants on it. And this group was purposely targeting families. Men should be lovers of themselves, and that's exactly what it was. And so if you know me and looked at my videos, you know I'm not going for none of that stuff. If you come on my video and you post a comment that's going against God or negative, trying to stir up confusion, I'm deleting you and removing you, period. But what I used to do is I used to look at certain folks to be like, who in the world is this person? But what I noticed with this particular group that was trying to start this conflict, it had to be like 50 negative reviews. And when I went on 50 of those particular people's whatever, it was nobody. They had no subbies, no nothing. So I knew that these are made up folks that are meant to cause confusion. People don't believe that there are certain folks that are meant to cause confusion. They're paid to do just that. It's the same as when Facebook hired folks to monetize certain videos to make sure that how can I say that, so they can make sure that no violent videos got through. And some of these workers ended up committing suicide and suffering from depression because of the videos that they saw that they were trying to block. And they couldn't unsee what they saw. So now we're being monitored in such a way. I mean, China's the worst of it all. China be monitoring their folks like, you can walk across the street, and as soon as you get home, you just got a jaywalking a fine and a video showing that you saw you walk across the street, so you need to pay this. What's that? Can I live? Can I live? But this system is really it's really designed to control. So another thing that I've been looking into these vaccines, and I've been looking at the statistics, and I'm trying to tell you, like yesterday, I saw a lady who took the vaccine. I think she went and got her second shot. Now she's paralyzed from the shoulders down. And I'm looking through the comments, and they're like, we're going to pray for you that you get well. And some people are like, well, it doesn't happen to everyone. You don't know if that's a real person saying that or somebody that's still trying to push this huge agenda. So we have to go back to our organic, authentic life. Because when you don't pay attention to it, and when you don't allow it to use you as a number, then the system just doesn't grow. It doesn't. Like, what you going to do when at one point in time you were hot, but now nobody looks at that platform anymore. So now that platform has lost a lot of money, and it's just sitting there. Nobody's posting. I'm starting to see this huge walkaway where a lot of folks have been doing YouTube for a very long time, and they're just basically saying it has literally ran their life, and they're walking away from it. Because if all you're doing every single day is talking, you're talking in the morning, and you're talking in the afternoon, and you're talking throughout the day, what time do you have for your life? You love to hear yourself talk. You love to see yourself on camera. And before you know it, 30, 40, 50 years went by. And the content that you put out there is old. It's in the archives of back in the day. The new generation not even looking at it. I'm not saying that all videos are not helpful, because there are some great videos that are put out that are extremely helpful. But I'm also seeing, too, the control of certain things. Like, I personally don't believe big media anymore. I don't believe that, the sky is falling, when I can clearly see the clouds, and I can see these birds just chilling, having a good time flying. But you're telling me that all is lost. But Jesus tell me, don't worry about that. The birds don't worry about what they're going to wear, what they're going to eat, But, and a lot of people, when they're in the room with their husband, or you're in the room with your wife, most of y'all got your cell phones up. For what? Like, what are you missing? that you don't have in front of you? And why is it that when you go somewhere special, you have to show everybody? Why? Is it to say, look at me, look at what I'm doing? I took my daughter somewhere, and we had a great time. And I took some photos. And my photo was like, would you like to share this? Heck no, I don't. No, that's for me. Would you like to share this with the public? No, this is my life. We got to go back to the organic life that has been given to us, where it wasn't the camera, where it wasn't, it wasn't all about the whole glam. Because you got some people that get on. I see people that get on the camera. I'm trying to learn how to do something, and I'm like, this is over here posing too much. Like, I didn't come here for this. Like, get to the point. I was like, get to the point. And I can't stand when they say things like, this is giving me life. Really? Or when I see somebody doing a tutorial about something and they call a non-living thing a she or give it a name. I'm like, this is just, let me just unplug from this. And I find my quality time when I'm not on the phone is when I have more thoughts. And that's another thing too that you need to be very careful of, because especially when you're on a mission to do something, your mind can go on autopilot, where you keep thinking about the same thing over and over again. Or when you wake up in the morning, you saw drama, or you saw something, and now girl, did you see this video? I saw this video, such and such, and it's like, this is the topic now. We got to go back to the organic way of living, eating and living. And too much of something that's not real is not good. It's not good. It's not good. So I just wanted to share that. And the things that have been pushed now. And I'm also saying, too, that a lot of folks who speak up about the truth, some who speak up about their personal opinions have been shunned or cut off if it's not going along with the lie. They have been cut off. And then I'm also saying, too, that a lot of videos that I put out, like in the past, all of a sudden, it's like it's resurfacing and people want to argue about it. And I'm like, delete. Like, I don't care. You don't have to believe what I put out there. But I don't have to go back and forth with you. See, when I don't know how to explain it, but you're being watched. So you need to watch what you put out there. And I'm one of them, because I put my whole life story out there and all of this and the third. But now I'm like, I'm going to keep certain things that my life is private. I'm not going to put everything out there. Look at me, I'm taking a picture. And I'm taking a picture of the food that I had. Oh, this is so delicious, y'all. Look at this. We've come to that point now. We've come to that point. Certain things you don't need to be sharing. I remember I had this group, and it was a TCC group where women were trying to conceive, and we had one lady. When I tell you, she was giving the scoop on everything homegirl was trying to show, and we was like, whoa, delete, you cannot do that. that was TMI, too much information. Come on, y'all. certain things that you and your husband or you and your wife got going on, everybody don't need to see that. If you are having a bubble bath with your husband or your wife, you don't need to post that on social media. You don't need to share that with folks. So we've gotten to the point where we want to show people, look at me and look at my life and look how I took this photo at this angle. And I'm going to tell you something. I've seen some photos and I'm like, oh, but when I see them up close, I'm like, you look nothing like the photo that you put up. What? Why'd you do that? You look nothing like the photo that you posted online. We got to go back to living this organic life. I know me, I am, with what I put in and what I look at. And that's one thing I really love, the simple fact that I was able to get rid of cable, because I can pick and choose what I look at now instead of I have to worry about some random scary commercial popping up and scaring the daylights out of my daughter, or making my mood switch from a happy mood to a depressed mood because I saw something that I shouldn't have saw. Certain things, that's another thing too that we're dealing with. We're dealing with a time where everything is coming to us too much, too fast, too soon, and some we did not need to see. We didn't need to see. So we got to go back to this organic thing. You got to ask yourself this question, and I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm a saint on this, but how often do you use your cell phone? How often do you look at your cell phone? Can you go a week without your cell phone? And if you say no, then you need to work on that. You need to work on that. I remember back in the day when pages was the big thing. When if somebody was trying to meet you, somebody was trying to find you, all they had to do was page you, and you hit up a phone booth when they used to have a phone booth. They used to have a phone booth. And then, the cell phones started to become so popular, they were all over the place. The plans were starting from like $80 to $100, and then it was $50. You can refill your minutes, or after hours, your minutes are free, And now it's unlimited because everybody got a cell phone with the G's. Now they got the G5s or whatever they got. I don't know. But anywho, look at how it has evolved. But look how I feel like family was more in touch than out of touch the way they are. Yeah, granted, I can say I'm friends with an aunt that I haven't seen in years on Facebook. But the truth of the matter is that I don't even talk to her as much. Even my own sister that, from a different mother, I don't really talk to her much. But I do see from time to time the things that she posts. But am I any closer? No. So we need to go back to another organic loan, and that's called real. And now I understand that movie, The Matrix, when they unplugged from the system, and how this system, if you wanted to learn how to do do karate, it'll teach you within a matter of seconds. If you wanted to learn this, it'll teach you in a matter of seconds. Well, the internet, if you wanted to learn something, it'll show you how to do it. It'll show you what to do. But it's gotten to the point where you realize the things that you've been seeing lately, it's not adding up. It's not making any sense. And then when you go to search the real, you start to see that these people have been censored, banned, or shut off, and you're just like, why are they doing this? That's because they don't want you to know it. And you realize, but I don't want to be a part of this. Then I mean, if I can't have my own free will to look at certain things, then I don't want someone dictating to me why I can't see the president of the United States speak. I don't want that. I don't want you to ever have that control. And the only way for us to get rid of something like that is for enough amount of people to walk away from it. It's almost living that Amish lifestyle of just going back to nature and not looking at it, just not even paying attention. So when you try to put this lie out, you'll notice that your views say zero. So that didn't work. And so I noticed that Mike Zuckerman or whatever his daggone name is, the Facebook guy, he's been under, well, they say that he's been under wraps because of the controlling of, and Twitter too. I don't even like Twitter anymore, especially because of what they did to Donald Trump. Like, how could you trust a platform like that? So imagine you worked and you became the president, and all of a sudden you have a platform that's going against you that at one point in time you used to support, and there would be nothing without you, but now it is turned against you. It's like these robots that they've been making, and these are robots. These are real freaking robots. I don't know why they're creating robots to be, they want to have them have the intellect as a human being, but we know that they're not. They want them to feel, and oh, if you punch it, it hurts. Like, why would you want something like that? And these robots have been gathering up so much data and becoming smarter and smarter over time that now that they're catching these robots talking about annihilating the human race that the humans created. And it's like something out of a horror movie, but yet we're living it right now today. It doesn't make any sense, but you're still feeding the beast. You're still feeding the beast. So I just wanted to talk about that. Um, that we have to go back to our organic lifestyle. I've been hearing especially with young men and women in the dating scene is trying to, find Mr. Right or Mrs. Right to get married, is that their issues are the communication. Because some folks don't even know how to communicate. They will get on their phone and text until their fingers fall off. They would be texting novels and books and don't even know how to communicate. Or they'll take all of these photos and post, modeling it out. And next thing you know, your life in flash, your life in flash, you didn't do anything. You live your life through a lens, and you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. I don't want that. I don't want that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So yeah, so there are, and I have heard a lot of folks on. I have heard a lot of folks on social media, on YouTube, of how their channels were flagged or um, they have been banned, or because you can only get but so high. And then after that, they want to either come after you or suppress. I don't know what, but I'm just like, I ain't got time for none of this. I don't have time for it. I just want to live my life according to God. I don't want to live how y'all living because, or how you want me to live. And so they look for those who speak out and see how much influence do you have. And then you have those who are just so worried about views. See, and I'm very weary, not worried, but I'm very like, for those folks who literally only care about their views and how many they got in this video and that video, especially those of you who claim the gospel and you're supposed to be preaching the gospel, but in fact what you're doing is you're corrupting it. Those type of people are so quick to give in to the system and to get money. They're so quick to sell Jesus in a way like Judas did. And you know what I was thinking about? You know, when you're planning, especially for spring, and this year I was like, oh, I'm going to have a nice yard. My yard is going to be like that. Because, you know, my next door neighbor down the street, I've been looking at his grass, and I'm like, his grass is so gorgeous. Like, what type of fertilizer is he using? So this year I decided I'm going to make sure I'm going to be the head of the game. You know, I'm going to get my seeds together, and I got me some particular seeds, and I put these seeds out, and I was like, yeah, watch when my grass come in. Watch when my grass come in. It's going to be like that. And last year on the left side, I was dealing with crabgrass. So I've been trying to peel that crabgrass off. Yeah, I put all of this seed down. I'm waiting for it to bloom up. I'm all excited. And to my horror, I got nothing but crabgrass. Just popping up all over the place. I said, what is this? And now I'm upset because I really don't know which bag did it, but there was a bag that was bad seed. So, and I say this because, and these seeds was like, what, 50 pounds? That's a huge bag, right? You would have thought like this, you know, they say it's good seed, you know what I mean? So I know I'm going to get the best grass in the universe, you know? And when you go and when I went to put it down, I had crabgrass. And I'm looking at everybody else's lawn that looked nice and leveled and just the blades on it. Look, did I become one of them women? I'm looking at everybody grass and I'm just like, I got crab. I literally tried to make sure I didn't have this, but I had a bad batch of seeds that gave me weeds and crabgrass. So there are your fake folks out there who you think is sowing seed. They sowing bad seed of weeds, full of weeds. And I thought about that, and I thought about those 500,000 views and those million subscribers that you got of weeds. But then when you look over here at the organic seed of a real seed that was sown, and you see just how lush their lawn is, not from all of that fancy smanchy stuff. That's how some YouTubers, I see them as. They sweeping down, they sowing seed, you sowing weeds, man. You sowing bad seeds. And when the DMs or the folks that's looking at it and seeing you sowing this corrupt stuff, and they much rather for the corruptness to be sown versus the authentic, righteous realness. And they allow you to get all of these views, or they allow you to have this platform because it goes along with their narrative. because you have to be very careful. If something is stopping you from knowing the truth, just like it's stopping you from going to church, it's stopping you from opening up your Bible and reading the Word of God. It's stopping you from going forward because it doesn't want you to hear the Word of God. Then you know that it is a spiritual thing. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. So be very careful of the huge platforms that you see where it's not stopping you from seeing it. Because I've been seeing not only with my particular videos that I've put out there, and I realized, yeah, y'all messing with the girl. But I've been realizing, even to folks I'm subscribed to, that they have been knocked off, blocked off. They've been given warning or videos removed and certain things. Those are the authentic seeds right there that they don't want you to see, but they would much rather for you to feed into this nasty filth over here. A real seed, or you want a real apple, you're going to have to pay money for it now, for the authentic one. But for the fake one, the rotten one, the one that's going to be no good for your body, you can have a whole bunch of those. But I do notice that it's the difference between two neighborhoods. The wealthy neighborhoods, they have these particular organic grocery stores so they can get their organic food. Well, for the less wealthy, for the middle class or the lower class, they got the junk. They got the rottenness. I've noticed the difference between I can go on the other side of town and it can be the same name brand grocery store, and I can see that the flowers are so luscious and gorgeous and you have a huge variety of them. But then when I go to this grocery store on the other side of town, the flowers look rotten, like you gave them the bad ones. You gave them the worst parts. They're just not, they're not good. Anyway, again, I just wanted to say that we need to live on organic life again, like what we used to. I can honestly say, like, even with my daughter, her having to go online and do online schooling, I'm so happy we were able to still go to the playground and for her to play with other children. And children just don't care. They mask on, no mask. They hitting. They looking at each other. They running. They on the swings. They're children running, playing, ripping until they just tired. That's how they're supposed to be. That's what they're supposed to do. All that sitting at the computer, they all looking like, this is boring. I think you have a much healthier. The way I look at it like this, you have a much healthier lifestyle when it's real. When you can look someone face to face and you can talk. They start having these shows called catfish and stuff, right? When people was believing certain things, and then when they meet the so-called love of their life, they happen to be some overweight fat lady that was suffering from depression, trying to act like she was a Ken doll or a man, and you come around like, oh my gosh, well you lied to me, using other people's photos, not authentic. We got to go back to that organic way. We have to go back to when we can plant things in the land and watch it produce great things for our body. Where we're not going along with this whole corporate thing. Hold on, you guys, hold on. Sorry, we're just checking the time. Where we're not going along with this whole corporate thing of this, what is it called? A curriculum, where everybody's doing the same curriculum. We all have to teach the same way. We have to flip it the same way. We have to go back to where we enjoyed face to face, because it's like this demon This devil don't want us to get together. They don't want families to get together. They're causing separation, not only with the husband, the wife, the children, but they want you to be isolated and just feeding you the poison. I don't want that. I don't want that. And if you don't go with what they want you to do, like if they created you, then they're ready to call you out or tarnish you, just like what they did with Alex Jones. Um, they're ready to just break you down in front of everybody. And the most crazy thing is, I thought, I thought I knew some smart folks, and I realized, like, y'all go along, y'all like sheep, man. Y'all go along to this, and y'all headed to the slaughterhouse. You believe a lie. You would believe that they say, hello, everybody, this is a national emergency. We just had this going on. And then when you look over, and like, I'm in the area right now, and I don't see none of that. Everybody else running around. Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm seeing it right there. There's nothing going on. Oh my gosh, you don't understand. You're not using your brain to be authentic. I mean, you're allowing other people to think for you, and that's just not taking away the creativity, allowing people to think for you, dictating, you're allowing a piece of machinery to control what it wants you to see. You're living your life through a lens. You don't pray like you used to because you're always on your cell phone. You go home and you're on your cell phone. You don't pay your children any attention. Your husband, your wife, y'all do the same thing. You go around your elders, you on your cell phone. And some people are so caring to see who liked my videos. I want to see who liked them. Okay, I'll create another one. It's all for what? Chasing after the win. Then your legs start hurting because you realize your legs are just like you ain't even been using them. Anyway, I would say this is that if you realize that your cell phone has become an idol of God to you, you need to repent of that. And you need to test yourself. Leave your cell phone at home. And I say this too to myself as well. Because you know what I'm like, I'm gonna leave my cell phone. It's just like, I had somebody say, no, 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 you don't want to leave your cell phone because what if you break down? Then the fear came in. Remember back in the day when we used to know people's numbers by heart? There's only two people numbers right now to this day that I know by heart, and that's bad. No, no, it's three. But remember, we used to be able to dial the phone and have the number on a piece of paper, and then we had a memory of that. If there's something that I would, what I have decided to do is not to post so many videos on YouTube. And to be very honest with you, I'm looking into other platforms to be able to talk and speak other than YouTube. Because I have to be very honest with you, I don't like YouTube. I don't like. At first, I thought it was a very great platform where you can learn anything, you can watch your shows on and everything. Until I started to see the controlling side of it, and I don't care for it. And because I don't care for it, I don't really want to post on it as much because I don't want those DMs to dictate how many views I should get or when to stop my view count because like I said, I've had a dream that they done it. And I have been noticing that a lot of the videos that I've been posting have been um, distorted, and it's purposely done. I'm not the only one. I'm starting to see that people that I've been listening to and following, a lot of their videos are distorted too. But anyway, I said this year that I was going to start getting out more, planting more, getting more in tune with, nature. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And being more around my family, my daughter, start traveling a little bit more, and start having joy, because I know what's coming. I'm not blind of what's coming, but right now it's not here. So you need to enjoy your loved ones while you can. You need to hug and love your mother and say, I love you, Dad, while you can. Don't wait and say, I knew this was coming, and you wish that you had that time to be with your family, but instead you on your cell phone or on social media. We need to go back to that. And I think once we go back to the organic way of living, then these so-called big whatevers will not have that control over our life. See, when they have a control over the platform in which you dance upon, then they can cut the lights out whenever they want to. But when you choose to say, I ain't dancing on your platform, and walk away, then they kind of looking around like, who else wants to do this? And no one else wants to do it. Then it's just like, okay, next. So I've decided I'm just going to start praying more. I want to hear God's voice more, living more. Anyway, y'all have a blessed